What's up everybody? I'm here to do a new type of video that I've never done before, but I've always wanted to try, where I just do a junkyard walk. I've always been fascinated by junkyards. I just think that they're so cool with all the different cars there that, you know, were once brand new cars that were someone's pride and joy, and they've all lived a life, they all have a story, and it's just really fascinating to me to just kind of explore those cars and see, you know, where they ended up and, you know, what kind of condition they ended up in as well. There's a lot of interesting stuff, quirky, weird stuff, some really just fascinating stuff as well. So I'm going to highlight all that here in this video, and I'm here at the U-Pull and Pay Yard in Pittsburgh, and so they actually were just purchased by Pull Apart, so they're now part of the Pull Apart brand of awesome junkyards, and I worked with them in the past with the Pull Apart Challenge, if you watched that many years ago. And so anyway, we're just going to go through here, and I want to give a huge thank you to them for having me out here and for sponsoring this video as well. Alright, so we just walked onto the lot, and there's already some pretty cool and unique stuff here that you probably haven't seen in a long time on the roads. So I'm a little rusty when it comes to some of these classics, especially whenever they don't have complete bodywork, but definitely looks like something Chrysler era from 70s here. I got the vinyl top. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. It is a Thunderbird. Handy little tag there. 72 Thunderbird, though. Awesome. Crazy to see one of these, though, in the lot here. But I guess it's just one of those things. Some of these cars are just beyond, you know, repair, and for whatever reason they end up here. But I mean, I'm surprised, you know, being a two-door, it's being, you know, pretty good shape, honestly. Look at these seats. It's very plush and honestly still in pretty good shape, though, honestly. And deep dish steering wheel there. So cool. And these ones, I think, you know, had just the 5-digit odometer, so it's hard to tell exactly how many miles they've gone, but it has that musty old smell, or it even still has the 8-track player in there. Pretty sweet. And right next to that, we have an AMC Eagle. So we're kind of in the hit section here of all the exciting and interesting stuff right up front here. And yeah, another crazy car you probably haven't seen in a long time. One of the first, like, SUV wagon type things. This is like the Crosstrek before the Crosstrek was ever conceived, and kind of just way ahead of its time, you know, with AMC whenever they came out with these. And again, looks to be in pretty good shape for something this old that you know, otherwise, you know, it's been neglected for a while. But I mean, still has some dash components there. This one's got the automatic, and it looks like it was a limited, so that's cool with the wood grain trim there, and plush seats. We have a 1984 Fiero. Look at that. That is another one you do not see every day. A mid-engine little sports car competing with the MR2 at the time. And for any of you in the Pittsburgh area, got some old #1 Cochrane badges here. It looks like it still does have some engine components there. Still has the spare tire in the front area there, which is kind of cool. Almost looks like a brand new spare, like it's never been used still, even after all these years. Pretty crazy. Protected by Z-Bart, another thing of the time that was very popular. Wow, look, this interior is like perfect aside from the tear in the seat. Oh, this is flawless. And yeah, looks like 93,000 miles. That one actually does have a 6-digit odometer, so I think that's actually yeah, could actually just have 93,000 miles on it. Really nice gauges. This one's a manual too, at 4-speed. And wow, yeah. Oh, and look, they even had speakers in the headrest. I didn't even know they did that. That was something you've seen on more modern vehicles, but they were doing it back then. GM was kind of a visionary in a lot of ways with some of the things they were way ahead of the curve on. And we've got another Fiero here too. Two Fieros. Love, again, these old 80s wheels. So cool there. That one looks like it's still got some engine components, and also looks to be pretty complete as far as the inside goes. The styling was just so cool and very much 80s with the wedge thing as well. I'd love to drive one of these someday. It'd be so cool. Alright, so we got some seat covers and a dime. Sometimes you can make some money hanging out here on the yard. But yeah, this one also, yeah, looks like it's 85,000 miles on this one. I can't believe that. That's crazy. So low miles for these things. But they weren't always built the best, so I guess that's kind of part of the territory. It was somewhat rare, I guess, for stuff back then to, you know, cross 100,000 miles unless it was Japanese. And we've even got a couple Xteras here, something a little bit more modern, but I mean, that's a color I don't remember seeing on Xteras too often. And there's a yellow one down here. And yeah, I just wish they would make a new Xterra, because I think these things still really have a cult following and are just so cool. I think something like that would sell really well today. And we've got a Volkswagen Rutan, which is, I remember when Volkswagen decided to partner up with Chrysler to do minivans, and so you had basically a Chrysler Town and Country with Volkswagen stuff, and they called it the Rutan Boom. I remember for the ads still. Kind of funny. Again, nothing super exciting, but just, when's the last time you saw a Volkswagen Rutan? Just hilarious. And we have an original Honda Passport here. There's the new one these days, but got an old one here. And another vehicle you probably have not seen in a while. Interior is pretty much bare on this one. But let's see, we've got the grill guard there in the front. Haven't seen one of those in a long time. This one's pretty mysterious. We have a 2008 Range Rover Sport here that seems to have pretty much perfect bodywork, especially, you know, for something being on the lot here. And yeah, I have no clue why this is here. It's a Range Rover Sport HSE. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any reason why this thing would have had a short life. Interior is pretty complete. And if that note is correct, we got 113,000 miles, which is respectable for a Range Rover. But yeah, I mean, got the Harman Kardon and the Logic 7 stereo over there. I have no clue. This just seems like it's something that ended up here on the yard earlier than usual for some reason. But it must be some major mechanical thing. I still feel like this would be worth something. But here it is. And we got a Saab 9.5 over here that actually looks to be in pretty good shape as well. Guessing mechanical stuff with this one, because the interior looks to be, yeah, the interior is like totally complete. So cool with these things having the ignition there in the middle. And it's been in pretty good shape here. So sad this Saab is no more. It's a nice Infiniti G35. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Guess just mechanical issues with this one here, because this thing is pretty nice. Got a pretty complete interior too. And yeah, not sure what the deal's with this one. Even got a little faux carbon fiber spoiler there on that. But yeah, seems like a pretty nice car though still. Here's another one you probably haven't seen in a long time, an Audi 5000. I believe this was like a 83, and yeah, long time since I've seen one of these. It's just impressive to see one still hanging around here. Door handle is broken, so I can't really go inside of this one, but it looks like it's a pretty complete interior too. Oh, actually it's an 88, my bad. But yep, haven't seen one of those in a long time. Big old 2003 Mercedes S-Class is hanging out here. I'm guessing mechanical issues, because this one doesn't seem to have too much body damage or anything. It was a smoker. Look at all this cigarette butts. That's funny. But even had the electroluminescent dash on these. Pretty high tech for the time. Crazy to see a car that was so expensive, and here we are, you know, 20 years later, sitting in a scrapyard. And here's an even cooler old Mercedes 88 560. Pretty nice shape. It's another vehicle, again, haven't seen in a long time. Really grand here. These huge two doors, and pretty good shape still. Classic Mercedes interior. Here's another rare one, an Infiniti Q45. I honestly don't even remember even seeing these on the road. These were only, again, offered for a few years. The 94 here, protected by Commander automotive security systems. But again, looks to be in pretty good shape, honestly. A little bit of rust, but wow, just even has some extra wheels there in the trunk. Lots of wheels. If you're looking for a Q45 original wheels here, not in the best shape, but man, tons of them. And yeah, pretty crazy stuff. This one has a 6-digit odometer, but it looks like it's only 86,000 miles too, so seemed like it was driven sparingly. 2006 Hyundai Tiburon. Been a while since I've seen one of these as well. Unfortunately, it does not seem like they lasted very long. Got a Hyundai Accent with a racing stripe on the side for some reason. Here's another fun little one. We got a Geo Metro LSI convertible in this very fun color. Looks almost exactly like Jeep's new color for the Wrangler, the Tuscaroo pink or whatever they call it. But this thing actually looks like it's in pretty good shape. 93 Geo Metro. Again, couldn't tell you the last time I saw one of those. And crazy, we got a Genesis sedan here next to it. But yeah, this thing, always fun to see the bare bones interiors on these older cars. And this one looks like it hit 105,000 miles there, I believe. Has the automatic. It's got to be so slow with the automatic. Another one you haven't seen in a long time, probably a 92 Chrysler New Yorker. Got the final top. Well, this is the 5th Avenue edition. Fancy, fancy. And has the, look at that, like velour interior. They look super plush and comfortable though. Got little cup holders too, which is nice. Not everything back then had cup holders. And wood grain. Looks like it was like 105,000 miles if I was reading that correctly, but really nice shape on this one, honestly. Got the hideaway lights too, another futuristic kind of thing they were doing back then. Man, that is a rear ending. That is a hard hit. Man, I went all the way back to the rear tires there. Crazy. Another old Chrysler here in 85 5th Avenue. Back whenever the 5th Avenue thing was its own model line here. Got the badly peeling vinyl top. It was all the rage. And another very plush interior in this one. And again, fairly complete. I'm impressed. Got that swanky grill in the front there. And yeah, another one I haven't seen in a long time. Right across from that we got a LeBaron here. Also looks to be in pretty good shape for a junkyard car. And these things actually, so this one has the turbo engine too, which is, I feel, pretty rare. Because turbo LeBarons weren't cheap and they were punchy from what I remember back in the day. There's the old turbo badge that's been taken off here. There's an 89 LeBaron. Really nice interior and everything. Got the wood grain here. Always fun to see on these old things. And yeah, but turbo LeBaron. Pretty cool. We've got a mangled Dodge Magnum. This is the refreshed Magnum, which had the little bit smaller headlights compared to the pre-refresh version, but just such a cool vehicle. It's so sad they couldn't have kept this around like they did the Charger and the Challenger. Just got the wagon thing going. Just one of the coolest wagons. You can get them with the V8. This thing, though, is badly rusted, so I can see why it's here. Look at all that rust. Wow, that did not last, unfortunately. 2008, too. Not insanely old. But just, man, cool to see though. And of course there's lots and lots of PT Cruisers, and a lot like this in the Chrysler section. And I always love the PT Cruisers. Sad to see them all resting here now, but they were one of the hottest cars around the world at the time. I remember even in Japan there was high demand for these, and I always thought they were cool. I know a lot of people hated them. They were like an easy car to hate at the time, but I don't know, I just always thought they were kind of cool. And this one here is the Dream Cruiser edition, because I remember the badges. This is a 2009, so it's one of the last years, but they've even added some chrome there. But you can see it's got some special wheels on them. And yeah, these ones were, I think, kind of supposed to be collectible. You know, they're a little more rare with this Dream Cruiser edition. And didn't save this one, though. Looks like someone tried to do their own two-tone paint job here with this Cavalier. We got green bumpers that definitely are not factory. Not the best paint job, but always fun to see how people customize. We got some overspray there on the headlights there. But they went to the trouble of giving this a new paint job. It's always fascinating to see what people do. And yeah, these Cavaliers, another one, the super common sight, a couple of decades ago, and now you hardly ever see Cavaliers on the road either. I got an old Oldsmobile 88 Royale is what the badge says on here, but it's just crazy some of these cars how low mileage they are. This one only has 81,000 miles on it, and still has ended up here. Did not have a long life for whatever reason, but definitely the interior definitely fared well as a result here. Nice and clean. And not sure why some of this stuff just doesn't stick around on the roads for some reason. Here's a pretty grand one, a 1992 Buick Roadmaster. These things were, pretty swanky back in the day. Fuel injected V8 it says there. And this is the limited version on top of that, so even nicer. But man, I mean, it still had the vinyl top and all that in 92, you know, trying to hang on to some of those old trends. But I mean, this thing is huge and very grand. Another vehicle that tried the full width taillights back in the day is the 1998 Oldsmobile Aurora, which was also something, you know, they were trying to reinvigorate Oldsmobile with something more sleek and modern and not quite the blocky old stuff of the previous Oldsmobiles. And got the wraparound dash, very driver-centric. Another thing that's coming back, you know, they had it here with this angular dash. It's almost like the C8 Corvette with the way they have that wrapped around there. And just a very, very sleek-looking car. Another 80s Camaro, looks a little rough, but a fun color on this one. And again, had the color-matched wheels, which was a factory thing back then. The RS and T-tops too. So fun. Otherwise, pretty well picked through, but 92 Camaro RS. We got a 1983 El Camino, and it looks like it's an SS if the badges are true. And got the two-tone thing. Look, you can still got some metallic sparkle there in that red paint there for the two-tone. And otherwise, definitely still pretty rough. But again, when's the last time you saw an El Camino? Here's a 1985 Oldsmobile Delta 88. Pretty swanky in its time. The pinstripe, I like the dark green. And it's the Royale with a vinyl top. Honestly, that top has aged really well for... Usually these things do not age very well with those. But interior is pretty complete on that one still. But yeah, another very, very grand vehicle. Do not see these days. And this one's kind of rare. We got an Impala SS. This is a 2006, last generation of the Impala, and honestly last one to have a V8 as well. Just kind of an end of era kind of car, and still does have the V8. And yeah, I just think these things were pretty rare even back when they were newer, especially these days. Another automotive trend that is coming back is the full width front light bar, and this 96 Grand Prix has that as well. Everything else in the front end is pretty much gone, but still has that light bar, which, you know, actually did have lights and could illuminate, and was very futuristic and high-tech in its day. This is the SE trim here, and take a peek at the inside. Wow, really nice shape, honestly. And this one looks like mileage, 120,000 miles on this one, so not too much, but, you know, decent for the time. And yeah, also had the full width taillight there in the back too, back in the day. We've got a souped up Camry here. Look at that aftermarket front bumper from the Fast and Furious days. This is like, I think, a late 2000s. And had some aftermarket wheels on the one side, but does have the manual though, so that's respectable. That door handle doesn't work, but yeah, 2006 Camry, and looks like the life was ended by an accident. Here's an awesome car you definitely haven't seen in a while, I'm sure. A Lincoln LS. These things are awesome. V8 powered rear-wheel drive sports sedan here, kind of trying to compete with like a BMW 5 Series of its time. It's a 2001 Lincoln LS. These things, I remember I had a friend when I was a kid whose dad had one of these, and it was really sweet and so impressive back in the day. Let's see if we can sneak into the back here. This one looks like pretty nice interior still. I'm gonna try and get a shot here. Yeah, 6-disc CD changer. These things were very impressive whenever they came out. And yeah, honestly, I think this could be like a future classic, something like this. Obviously not this one, but I think Lincoln LSs have a bright future. Another full width headlight bar here on this Mercury Sable. So aerodynamic, so futuristic, so sleek. It's so funny how there's so much commonality with the design themes between then and modern car design. How about that? We've got another Lincoln LS here. Crazy to see these all just hanging out here, but guess they all end up here for whatever reason. But here's a better look at the inside on this one. Digital odometer, so we don't know the mileage, but Alpine stereo. This one's kind of a surprise to see. It's a 2016 Mustang. So this is the current S550 generation. If you're ever wondering how these looked without the body panels on, this one's been pretty well stripped. But also, if you're curious about how the knee airbags look when those work, there you go. Clearly an accident for this one. And yeah, crazy though. Yeah, there is nothing left of the front end really. But wild stuff. There's the guts of an S550 Mustang, if you've ever wondered. And for some reason, the owner of this Focus thought that it was a Chevy Silverado, or at least it should have been. Love to hear the story behind that one. It's a cool old SN95 Mustang, 94. So is the factory wheels. I always thought those were such a cool wheel design. So 90s though. And yeah, dash is still all there. Just a 5-digit odometer still on that one. Pretty good shape. We've got a 1995 Ford Thunderbird, and just another really cool car that it's sad that they don't make the Thunderbird anymore. But this one had the V8 too, 4.6 liter. And such a cool car back in the day. Again, these huge two doors, just do not see anymore. Well, apparently the Lincoln LS was very popular around here, and they're all being scrapped at the same time because we got another one and we got another one over there. We got 4 Lincoln LSs in this yard. They were not that common back in the day, so I'm pretty surprised we got 4 of them here. And anyway, this one's a 2006. And let's see what this one is here. 2004. And here's another really cool classic, a 1974 Mercury Comet. And I believe this was like the nicer version of the Ford Maverick. My history of this era is a little rusty, so excuse my ignorance. But you can see on the inside here, obviously this one has definitely been out for a while. Probably someone's project or something possibly. But I love the gauge cluster. You see they've did the full numerical there on the tack with, you know, the entire 1,000 written out there, and an old Jensen stereo. And yeah, just a cool little car, you know, like kind of the competitor to the Toyota Celica's of the time and all the other, you know, old stuff back then. Just such a fun little car. These tires are 175 wide, just tiny little skinny things, 13-inch wheels. But yet on this car it actually looks appropriate and looks like it fits. And we got some stuff here awaiting the crusher. It's been taken off the yard, but you can see there's a Mitsubishi Eclipse. I remember when those things were super cool. That's the Too Fast Too Furious generation Eclipse there, and now just waiting a date with the crusher. And these cars are getting ready to be put out onto the yard, but this one just looks like a normal, ordinary Chevy S10, except this thing had a crazy pull hit. That is really far in. They must have been moving for that one. Hopefully that person is okay, but man, that is quite the hit there. Look at how far in that is, man. And these cars are awaiting the crusher. These ones have been taken off the yard and are going to be crushed here very soon. And so yeah, it's kind of crazy. They just make way for new stuff, but like this thing still has a lot of stuff left on it. So, you know, pretty new Lincoln Navigator, kind of crazy. Just looks like there's a towing notice from March, and just was never taken care of, and so here it is, getting ready to be crushed. And I just happened to come upon this Celica, another vehicle. Haven't seen in a long time. Look at that faux carbon fiber on those aftermarket taillights. That's a Celica GT too. Man, this is another one you don't see very often, and looks like this one definitely had an accident with the way that windshield looks. But man, I remember when these things were brand new and so cool and so radical looking for the time. And that one is going to be crushed very soon too. And here's another turbo LeBaron. This one is also about to be crushed, so that's why this one has the wheels on it. But I mean, this one's actually a convertible too. Turbo convertible LeBaron, in pretty good shape too. There's those turbo badges. This one's got some fun seat covers on it there. Here's one that just came in that clearly looks like it's been sitting for a long time. Someone's project or old car that never got any attention or love here. But 71 Nova 4-door, and still has the old bench seat there, locked or jammed, one or the other. But another car you don't see very much of. This one must be from Pittsburgh because it has an old KDKA bumper sticker for anyone that is from the area. Very cool. And here we have the crushed cars. You can see the old bumper of, I think, a Saturn SC potentially there. And yep, crazy stuff. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. It was a ton of fun seeing all those cars, and yeah, so stay tuned. I'll hopefully be doing more of these in the future, but in the meantime, let me know what your favorite vehicle was in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.